Some wool sweaters stay with us through many winters. Even when they become worn or small holes appear, I never feel like throwing them away. When I was little, my grandmother taught me how to mend and reminded me to fix what can still be used. For me, mending is a quiet way to care for the things we love. In this video, I share a few simple tips to help your favorite sweater last a little longer. Part 1. Are you tired of a high-knit collar that feels bulky and uncomfortable around your neck? Do not rush to throw it away. With just a few simple steps, I can turn an old turtleneck sweater into a neat new collar style that is easier to wear and looks almost like a brand new top. First, gently fold the knit collar down one time. Take a moment to adjust it so everything looks straight and even. This step is simple, but it really makes a difference later. If you are sewing along with me, take your time here. There is no need to hurry. How is everyone doing today? I hope you are feeling relaxed and enjoying a quiet moment with your needle and thread. Next, we are going to sew this fold in place. I am using an embroidery thread in a color of my choice, but you can use any color you like. Just remember to bring the needle up from the inside of the collar so the knot stays hidden. This little trick helps keep the inside neat and comfortable, especially for those of us who wear our sweaters all day. We are not hiding the stitches this time. Instead, we are creating a decorative line around the collar. This stitch helps hold the fold in place and also adds a simple accent that makes the sweater more interesting. The stitch I am using is a zigzag stitch that I learned from my grandmother. She loved sewing and mending clothes, and I learned so many useful things just by sitting beside her and watching her hands work. Where did you learn your sewing tips? Was it from a parent, a grandparent, or maybe a friend? I would love to hear your stories, so please share them in the comments below. Now, once you reach the end of the collar, bring the needle back to the inside. Tie a secure knot to hold everything in place, then carefully cut off the extra thread. Take a look at what we have now. We have a completely new collar style. It looks cleaner, feels more comfortable, and has a simple embroidered detail that adds just the right touch. In the next part, we will continue with more easy sewing ideas together. Part 2. After changing the collar style, this sweater runs into another common problem. A V-neck sweater often feels too wide around the neckline. In this part, I will show you how to fix it so it looks more balanced and feels easier to wear. First, prepare a small piece of fabric. Here I am using a lace fabric that is not too thin and not see-through. Place this piece of fabric inside the sweater, right behind the pointed part of the V-neck. Next, we will use a thread that matches the color of the sweater and sew this fabric piece in place. Start by stitching close to the edge of the neckline. As you sew, I have a quick question for you. Where are you watching this video from today? Please leave the name of your country or area in the comments. I always enjoy reading them while I sew. Once you finish sewing along the edge, tie a knot to secure the thread and carefully cut off the extra. The lace fabric is now firmly attached and sits nicely in place. Now turn the sweater to the inside and sew one more line. This stitching line should be about 1 to 2 centimeters inside from the first line. A small tip for this step is not to push the needle all the way through the sweater fabric. Sew only on one layer, so the stitches do not show on the outside. This helps the finished piece look cleaner and more polished. Finish this step with a strong knot, then cut off the remaining thread. The result is that the lace panel now covers part of the wide neckline and makes the sweater feel more secure. You can choose any fabric pattern you like for your own sweater. This is a simple tip that helps your sweater fit better. If you find this helpful, please give the video a like and stay with me for the next sewing tip. Part 3. In Part 3, we will continue transforming the sweater collar with a simple decoration. This small change helps the sweater look fresh and new while still being comfortable for everyday wear. First, at the collar, gently fold the fabric down to create 3 small folds placed right next to each other. Take your time and shape them slowly. When the folds look even, use a sewing thread to stitch them together and hold them in place. This is a good moment to pause and relax your hands. Sewing should feel peaceful, not rushed. If your fingers need a short break, that is perfectly fine. Next, take a small button and sew it securely on top of these folds. This button becomes the main accent of the collar. As you sew, I hope you are enjoying this quiet moment. Maybe you are sitting near a window or listening to soft music while you work. These little moments make sewing even more enjoyable. Finally, tie a strong knot on the inside of the sweater. Carefully cut off the extra thread, and we are almost done. Gently adjust the folds so they look even and neat. A small touch like this can really change the look of a garment. Now the sweater collar has a new decorated style. The old boring collar is gone, and in its place is a simple and elegant detail that makes the sweater feel special again. This kind of decoration is easy to do and perfect for daily wear. Part 4. When your sweater gets a tear, what do you usually do? Many people think about throwing it away or putting it aside in a corner. But in this part, I will share a way to mend a sweater so it looks almost like new. This method comes from very simple experiences that I learned from my grandmother, who was always patient with needle and yarn. First, use a pair of scissors to carefully trim away some loose yarn around the tear. This helps make the damaged area look cleaner and easier to work with. Take your time here and be gentle. A calm start always leads to a better result. Next, use yarn to sew horizontal lines across the tear. These lines should run parallel to each other along the damaged area. Leave a small space of about 0.2 centimeters between each line. Work slowly and keep the spacing even. Once all the horizontal lines are finished, we can move on to the next step. Now we begin weaving the yarn. Just like the original yarn structure of the sweater, it is best to use yarn in the same color as the sweater for the most natural result. Here, I'm using a different color so you can see the process more clearly. As you weave, adjust the yarn so it lies evenly and do not pull too tight. Gentle hands are key. While you are working, how are your hands feeling today? Sewing can be very relaxing, but it is always good to stretch your fingers once in a while. After finishing the weaving, bring the needle to the inside of the sweater and tie a secure knot. Carefully cut off the extra yarn. Now take a look. The sweater has been mended beautifully. The new yarn blends in and looks almost the same as the original fabric. With a little patience, a torn sweater can be brought back to life again. Part 5. In Part 5, we will decorate the sweater collar with very simple details. The steps are not complicated, but they are enough to give the sweater a fresh look and a special accent of its own. Starting from the center of the collar, measure down about 8 centimeters and mark that spot lightly. This will be our starting point. Next, take your needle and bring it up from the inside of the sweater at this lower mark. Thread one small white decorative bead onto the needle, then push the needle back down to make the second stitch. Continue sewing in the same way, adding one bead with each stitch as you move upward toward the collar. Keep each stitch about 1 centimeter apart. There is no need to be perfectly exact. Just keep the spacing comfortable and even. As you sew, how are you feeling today? I hope you are enjoying this quiet time. Moments like this are a nice way to slow down and relax. Once you reach the collar area, gently hold the thread and pull it to tighten. You will see the beads move closer together, and the sweater fabric will naturally form soft folds. Do not pull too hard, just enough to shape the fabric nicely. Finally, tie a secure knot on the inside of the sweater. Cut off the extra thread, and that is it. Now the sweater has a more creative and eye-catching collar. With just a few simple steps, we can transform an ordinary sweater into a new style that feels personal and special. Part 6. In this next part, I will decorate the sweater in other areas using a very simple stitch. If you feel tired of a sweater that looks too plain and boring, adding just a few small details like this can make it look fresh and full of character. At the side of the sweater, use a ruler to draw 2 straight lines parallel to each other. Make sure both lines are evenly spaced from the side seam. Take a moment to check that the lines look neat. This is a good time to slow down and enjoy the process. Are you sewing alone today, or do you like to sew while chatting with family nearby? Now we will sew simple stitches to create zigzag lines along the drawn guides. Follow the lines carefully and keep the stitches relaxed. There is no need to rush. Sewing should feel comfortable, especially for our hands. After finishing the stitching, hold the thread and pull it firmly. You will see the stitches shorten and the sweater begin to gather. The fabric will draw in and form twisted folds along the body of the sweater. This part is always interesting to watch. Small actions can create big changes. Now tie a secure knot on the inside of the sweater. Carefully cut off the extra thread and take a look at the result. This small detail becomes a highlight that makes the sweater less boring and more unique. It gives the sweater a different look that is perfect for anyone who enjoys a little creativity in their clothing. Part 7. In the final part of the video, I will fix a sweater sleeve that has stretched out after a long time of use. With just a few simple steps, the sleeve will become neater and more fitted, and the sweater will look fresher and much easier to wear. We will start sewing from the edge of the sleeve cuff. Sew horizontal lines that run parallel to each other. Continue stitching all the way around the cuff. Take your time and keep the spacing comfortable. This is a nice moment to slow down. How are you feeling today? I hope this little sewing session brings you some calm and enjoyment. Once all the stitches are finished, gently hold the thread and pull to shorten it. The stitches will hide themselves, and the sleeve opening will begin to tighten. You will see the shape change right away, which is always satisfying to watch. Next, bring the needle to the inside of the sleeve and tie a secure knot. Carefully cut off the extra thread. Now the sleeve is no longer loose like before. It looks neat and fits better with just one simple stitch. You can try this method on your own sweater and see the difference for yourself. Thank you so much for spending this time sewing together with me today. I hope these small tips bring you joy and help you take better care of the clothes you love. Sewing is not only about mending fabric, but also about patience, gratitude, and the quiet moments we share with ourselves. I truly believe these simple skills are a gift from God, reminding us to cherish what we have and care for it with love. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more simple sewing ideas, please subscribe to the channel and stay with me for the next one. May God bless you and your family with peace, good health, and many calm moments with needle and thread.